Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity we have. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's an exciting time. We are preparing the Leadership Development Conference starting on the 24th and the 25th of this month. We are excited. We have got a great lineup of speakers. It's going to be an incredible conference, and we're looking forward to have you guys come. You know, one of the best things you can ever do is to invest in yourself. And most people want to have a lot of resources, but if you don't resource yourself, you don't empower yourself, whatever that will come your way will not really bring a lot of change because you are not empowered. So tonight we are honored to have a big friend of mine. He's going to unleash a lot of leadership principles. He's a man that has been around this leadership space for many years. He started working with Bruce Wilkinson, walk through the Bible. He's been doing a lot of training for walk through the Bible all around the country, in the SADC region. He's done quite a lot with Bruce Wilkinson. Some of you know Bruce Wilkinson, who wrote a very popular book, The Prayer of Jabez. And not only that, but he was also a field worker working with John Maxwell, a great, amazing teacher. And not only that, he worked with the Saddleback church. I mean, he's a connected guy. Now he works with the likes of Masiza, Simpure Masiza, Empower Youth, Empower Works, quite a lot of things. And we are honored to have Pastor Joshua Mthanyelwa. Amsheni Fakaina.
Riperile.
Riperile ninjani.
Hayi ivukile kodwa wena.
Hayi
Lezokuxoshisa eSouth
no no.
Africa mombili elangeshangani bazothi akabe.
No, we are honored to have you on the platform. I would like you to just to raise the volume of your mic a little
Okay.
bit so that we can have you audible for people to hear you. Pastor George, thank you very much for joining us. We are grateful to have you. Just in a nutshell, just give us a short uh, CV of who is Joshua Mthanyelwa in terms of your leadership journey.
So it's a very interesting one. I think in 1984,
Yes.
I was involved in. Remember when we were fighting for age limit, and I was involved in the struggle. We part of those guys were called Klep Hoyers, you know.
Yeah.
So what happened during those times? So I was in the forefront of it. So my mother thought, this guy, they're going to kill him. The boys are going to kill this guy. So, all right, no, we will send you to go to Bushbuckridge and to stay walk because there's no violence. Because I'm very involved in that. So, but also my cousin had planned for me to cross through Mozambique to go to Lusaka. And 3 months into it, while we were planning with my cousin, I got saved when I got the in Bushbuckridge. And I
Mm.
realized, now I can't go now. Now I remained there. And in 1985, there was a teacher who was a leader of S. It was a God. When I got saved. So in 85, there was a teacher there, Mr. Mkhane. That guy really believed in me. So I see a leader in you. So in the committee of SEM, you're gonna be you'll be the one that will be a spokesperson, but you'll also be the organizer for that. But for me, I didn't know that I can be able to speak. But this man saw something in me. I know that I could organize. Because when he says he's gonna be an organizer, ask him what's that. He says, no, don't worry, I will take you by the hand. And we organized a lot of SEM events
Yeah.
and activities, and then that's where my leadership started. And I will tell you now that when from birth or from being a teenager or a toddler for that matter, to that stage when I was now 17 when I got saved. I thought I was an introvert,
Yeah.
until I gave my the Lord. And I realized I was not an introvert, but it was because of the circumstances that I grew under, because I grew up among the Zulus and the Xhosas. So as a Shangani boy, they really teased me, and really that thing put me in an invisible jail called inferiority. So I was very inferior until Christ came into my life, and saved me. And that's why I realized, oh, I'm a leader. So when I came back from Bushbuckridge and coming this side, then I got involved more in SEM, and I got involved in the church. I was a youth leader. Then I became a youth pastor. Then from there, I went to do engineering. In the course of that, somehow the calling of the Lord came into me. Then I went to Kenya to study. That I think when I get to Kenya, my eyes were open in terms of how can I push my political persuasion biblically. I remember one of my deans says to me, "Everything that you write, it's political. Why are you making everything political?" I said to him, if I will not, uh, 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 if I don't see politics in the Bible, or the Bible does not say anything about my situation in South Africa, then I don't want to read this Bible. So I could see emancipation in every page of there. I could see justice in every page of there. I
Oh.
remember I read Brasiza's book, The Flames of Justice. In one night, I read that book and I finished it, and that was more of that flame of justice to say, you know what, there should be justice in those. So when I came back from there, I became a youth pastor for our church nationally. So I was the national leader in our church. And then from there, in 2000, then I started a church, Agape Family Church. 2 years down the line, somehow I plateaued as a person. I realized that I needed more. Somehow, a friend invited me to a breakfast meeting, and there was a walk through the Bible. Actually, I almost bought everything there that was on the table. I bought a lot of material because I felt that I needed more. My people are needing more. So, and then in that day, walk through the Bible, they called me. There's a good friend of mine, Elvis Mfulani. Then he called me, says, I can see actually, because the breakfast was in Grace Bible Church. Says to me, I can see you are the only one who bought material. What are you going to do with that material? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to use it. He says, okay, I want you to come to our face so that we teach you how to use the material. That's how I joined walk through the Bible. Then I started. By then they had a program called World Teach, so we're
Yes.
teaching parts, and from there I got an award of being a world teacher of the year, of teaching other leaders. In that space, while I was still excited about this, there came a required and purpose-driven church. And in 2004 and 2005, I went to receive an award in the US, in Saddleback Church. It's called Hell Church Award. So as a church that was purpose driven. So I subscribed to the purpose driven model. So from there, then Saddleback says, yeah, we like what you're doing. Can you be a mentor for churches in Southern Africa that wants to be purpose driven? So I started traveling around Southern Africa, helping churches to be purpose driven. Then there came Dr. Maxwell, and they were looking for for facilitators, and they picked me, and I became the senior trainer for John Maxwell in Southern Africa, and I traveled almost most of the countries in Southern Africa speaking to leaders. And but that really, I think I will always find fulfillment. One story that is amazing, I was in Malawi. So I was teaching in Malawi. So after I've taught, this guy came, Wangbamba Mawashin. But why are you manhandling me? He says, where were you when I was making all these mistakes? He says, what do you mean? He says, no, no, no. You should be near the things you are teaching now. I needed them then. He says, no. Actually, I was also making my own mistakes, and I still continue to make my own mistake. This is a perfect time for you to be able to transition. So that's my little. So in that process, really, I started what we call men of purpose, because we were in the States, and somebody asked me, says, how many men are in your church? I said, how many members do you have? I said, we've got about 250 members. Says, how many men are in your church? And I says, got 50. Says, there's a problem. You can't have uh, you know 50, so 50 members. So from there, then I started only 50 men of purpose in prison. And from there, the rest is history. It's bonfire. I've been into Botswana, I've been to Lesotho, I've been into Mozambique doing the men of purpose. But in that process, because the school or the university that I went to, the University of the Nation, it was specializing in what's called missions. So
Yeah.
I'm a missionary who happens to be a pastor, which so I started doing missions in Mozambique. To date, I think I'm helping almost about 30 churches in Mozambique in mission in terms of leadership development, in terms of church growth. Yeah, so basically that's me right there. And
So
I'm
can
married.
you
Yeah, yeah, I'm married.
no,
I've got
continue?
5 children and a lovely wife. Yeah, I'm married. I've got 5 children. I've got 3 boys, 2 girls. So yeah, so I love my family. They are my stability. When I go outside, when I come back, that's where I find solace.
No, we really thank God for your testimony and for what God is doing through you. Just coming back to the issue of leadership development, for churches and for men. Can we start here on the churches? What is the most missing thing in terms of leadership in the church?
Wow, sure. I think one is the mandate. We
Mm-hmm.
miss. You see, if as a pastor you begin to complain about politicians, you complain about business, that business is not doing well. Business is this. You must also take a mirror and look at yourself, because for me, I believe that the church is the factory for leadership. So we need to
Okay.
produce these leaders for the corporate. We need to produce leaders for politics. So if politics is not doing well, if business is not doing well, if education is not doing well, health is not doing well, we must look at ourselves. Are we supplying leaders that this country needs? Because really, if you look at it, when we're given the Great Commission, it says, go and make disciples of all nations. So the issue of, it didn't say go Christianize people. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it says go make disciples. And
Yes.
disciples, the end of the day, disciples are leaders. So
Yes.
we're not intentional in terms of, no. So I'm just thinking that we don't understand the mandate that we've been given. There's one of the book that I'm working on. It's called The Conundrum of the Soul Shaker.
Okay.
What makes the soul shaker to be clogged? It is the salt itself. You
Okay.
know, yeah, so our churches, our buildings are a soul shaker, but people
Mm-hmm.
are stuck inside. We
Mm-hmm.
we, we don't we don't produce them to release them, because if there's not taste in politics, if there
Yeah.
is not taste in business, we need that salt. Who is the salt? Jesus gives us a metaphor. He says, "You are that salt." And when you look at in the book of Luke, that salt is not the sodium chloride that we know as the table salt. It's
Yeah.
potassium chloride. It's potassium chloride, which is an agricultural salt. You know. So we need people that will go influence. And potassium, what it does, it strengthens the roots. It strengthens the stem. It makes the leaves greener, and it helps the plant to grow more fruits. So, in other words, people that come from us are the salt. So, in other words, we need to apply ourselves in those spaces so that those spaces
Yes.
will grow those spaces. So, we need to apply, we need to grow salt, that potassium chloride salt that will make a difference. But unfortunately, we open the salt shaker from the back and we clock it where it's supposed to come back, where it's supposed to come out. So that it's in our pride, we'll say, we ask each other, what's your sitting capacity? But we never
Mm-hmm.
ask, what's your standing capacity? How many people have sent in politics? How many people have sent in entertainment? How many people have sent in business? So I would say the church is clocked. We've got leaders, but the holes are clogged, and it's why an assault.
So the concept of a conundrum of a salt shaker,
Yeah.
how do we unclog this salt shaker that it can start to sprinkle the salt where is mostly needed?
Yeah. You see, when colonization came to Africa, they were intentional of what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Apartheid, when it was applied in South Africa, they didn't just wake up and says, "This is what you're going to do." They planned for it, and
Mm.
they put an education to it. So
Mm.
for me, Jesus them teach them to obey. So in other words, unless we teach people, unfortunately in our churches, we've got more preaching than teaching.
Teaching.
So yeah. So somebody says Africa is over evangelized but undiscipled, and
Yes.
yeah, the problem is that we're not intentional about making these leaders. So you can't produce something that you're intentional. So it becomes by chance. And if you can see, most of leadership among Christians, they're developed among what you call the interdenominational structures, your SCMs, and outside there. But within the church, we produce zookeepers. We produce people that will manage this salt shaker, but we're not producing people that will go outside there and make a difference. For me, we need to be intentional in terms of training and telling everyone in the church, actually, and telling everyone you are a leader. As a leader, you must find your sphere of influence where you're supposed to be influenced. Ugogo was a crash. She's the leader. She's there
Yes.
to groom leaders. A teacher, she or he is a leader. Then we need to conscientize them to say, in the space that you're in, you are a leader. Not only that, you are a kingmaker. You are there to make a difference. So the issue of being intentional in training leaders, I know if we do that right, I think we'll unclog this soul shaker.
You there's a thread of truth that you've just unleashed, that when we had Dr. Kaba, he said a lot about his primary school teacher who took him out and placed him in front of the class
Yeah.
to do a recitation. And he said that was a breakthrough of his life and it gave him
Mhm,
confidence. You are
mhm.
talking about Mr. Mokane,
Yeah,
who identified you as a young boy
yeah,
at the age of 17 and say you are a leader. So I
yeah,
think what you are saying is imperative, that we need to know we are leaders
yeah,
wherever we are, whether as a
yeah,
Sunday school teacher, as an usher, as a mother, or as a father,
yeah,
as a community worker. We are
yeah,
leaders, and
yeah.
we need to leaders produce other leaders.
Leaders. Yeah. You're
So
right.
how can we change that mindset? Because now we have a conference coming, leadership
Mm,
development conference, and as we are inviting people, we discovered that
mm,
we are missing out a lot of people because they are saying we are not leaders, Tina. I see
mm,
Zulu conference. So how do we
mm.
change this mindset? Maybe even the language when we have conferences, what must we call them? Because when we say leadership conference, other people feel excluded. How do we
Yeah.
change the mindset?
Wow, wow. I think you're right. Messaging is very important. And
Mm.
for me, I think the messaging is will be everyone could be a leader. come and
Everyone
join.
is a yeah, they
Yeah,
are
yeah,
leaders.
yeah,
They have been made,
yeah,
they can be made leaders.
yeah. Actually, here's the question: are leaders born or made? And the truth of the matter, I've never seen an unborn leader.
Yeah.
All leaders are born. But the truth of the matter, we need to be intentional in making them. But
Yes.
but we have not. Okay, let me give you a scenario, which is not a nice one. Remember when Rima came into being, most pastors went to black pastors when they went to Rima, they went there to be pastors,
Yeah.
you know. But Rima members, they were going there to go be to learn more about the Bible. So to us, going to Bible school was like you're going to Bible school because you're called. But for
Yeah.
them, they were going to Bible school because they want to be effective in what they are doing. So
Yes.
we need to begin to remove certain barriers that makes people to think this message is for certain people. And I like what you're doing, the Inuit Bank, the Bible school, because then it says anyone, a CEO can learn the Bible, a doctor can learn the Bible. It's not only people that feels they are called in the fivefold ministry. Because the truth of the matter, all of us, we need to tell people this. All of us, we are called to be leaders.
Leaders.
Yeah. Somebody says you need to begin to give people permission
Yes.
to lead. But here's the thing, it's scary to lead leaders. So weak leaders, they are comfortable to lead followers because
Okay.
followers, they're like dogs. When you say Bobby, the dogs follow you. But leaders, they're like cats. A cat is kitty, come, the cat goes its own way. So we don't
Yes.
we don't want to lead alone. You choose to lead chickens, and so that you just put food and the chickens come. But we need to begin to say to people, all of you in the church, you are eagles, and we're going to teach you how to fly. And all of
Amen.
you have different destination where you need to fly. Don't worry. We will hold you by the hand. Here's the thing. One thing is that I said we need to be intentional. But the other thing, Pastor Eddie, it's that as if you look among the charismatic, when we die, we leave a mess
Yeah.
because we never mentored anyone. Because the very same word, the word mentor, it's the word make disciples. It's just
Yeah.
interchangeable where you use it. But we never mentor anyone. Somebody says the leader's success is in his succession. You know.
Yeah.
So if we, like, if you look in the Bible, you have Moses, and Moses all the time was with Joshua. Joshua is either will be at the bottom of the mountain when Moses is on top of the mountain, or at the door of the tent when Moses is in it. So Moses was mentoring Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah, was mentoring Joshua. And even when there was a battle, Moses says to Joshua, "Go, I will stand here." But sometimes as pastors, we want to be the one in battle. He says, "Now I will lift up the hands for you, go fight. I'll stand here so that when you come back, you'll be refreshed." But also, if you look at Joshua, you see, Joshua never had anyone that he was mentoring. You know,
Yeah.
at age 80, he wanted to climb the mountain. He says, I still have the strength. Him and Caleb, because they were busy conquering the land, but they never mentored anyone. That's why we found ourselves have the following book, that is the book of Judges, where you see the lack of leadership. Actually, the key verse to Judges, it says, in those days there was no leader in Israel. Everybody did as he pleases. But here,
Yes. That's what it says.
yeah, because there was
But
no,
it actually starts. I love this. It starts by
yeah,
saying, after Joshua and his
yeah,
generation
yeah,
died,
yeah.
there arose a generation who did not know God.
What his works?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Continue.
and yeah, he did not know God, his works. But here's the thing: we Joshua, Moses knew God. Joshua knew the works. He was
Yeah.
on the was busy with the works, but he forgot to teach his generation God. So
Wow.
if you can look at this generation as a word, it's the generation of works, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, but it's not few times where you hear Joshua was praying. It
Mm.
was only when I give them problem and to fast and pray. But with Moses, he will spend 40 days and 40 nights with God. But with Joshua,
Yeah.
he was busy conquering. But then he brought a generation who did not know God, know his work. And that's where we're going right now.
Yeah.
That's where we're going. This third generation that is coming, but they don't know God.
So what
And
what can we do as as remnants, those who see the light and who anticipates the next bounce of the ball? What must we do to can have a remnant? Remember, things can go
yeah, yeah,
south,
yeah,
but there'll always be a
yeah.
remnant. There'll always be a
Yes.
remnant. What must the
Mm-mm.
remnant do?
Yeah. I think the remnant need to go back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the simplicity. Let's let's look because this generation says, God, this is what I'm doing. Come and bless it.
Mm.
But the generation of Moses says, God, what are you doing? So that we join what you're doing because already what you do is blessed. So
Yeah.
basically, we need to begin to teach them God. Because the truth of the matter, when we teach them God, when they're closer to God, when they know God, because then it becomes easy to turn the tide. If you
Yeah.
read the book of uh, yeah, is it Ephesians 3, verse 10? Paul says, I kneel before the Father of whom all the families derive his name. And I pray that you may be strengthened in your inner being, that Christ may dwell richly in faith in you, that you may be rooted and be established in love, so that you may know how deep and how wide is the love of God that surpasses all human understanding. Then verse 19 says, so that you may have the of God. I think that's what we need to point this generation so that we'll turn the tide, is to say the fullness of God is found in him when we are strengthened, when we are strengthened in our inner being. That's so that the verse 20 becomes possible. That says, for he is able to do exceedingly abundantly above. People who
Amen.
say verse 20 are people who have a relationship with God. So for me, it's again to say to people, let's go back to God. Let's go back. Let's go back to basics. Remember, when the charismatic movement came in, they were promoting the gifts of the Spirit, but they
Yes.
were not promoting the character of the Spirit. But
The
now we
what?
need to say to people, you need both left and
Mm.
right.
Mm.
Let's go to God. Let's seek for Him, so that we'll speak like Paul. Uh, you know, everything that matters to me accounted rubbish, so that I may gain God. So we need, because let me say, we've got a lot of programs in the church, a lot of programs, and we remember we're in an information age. We're in
Yeah.
information, but the problem is that we don't know God.
Now you said something when we started that
Yeah.
the lack of leadership in politics, in business, in society is because the church as a factory is not producing enough. If we see lack, we must see it as our problem that we are not producing enough. Now we need to come to a practical part. We have a conference coming, a leadership conference. What will you say to people who who are still procrastinating and doubting and putting it aside to go do an empowerment and train themselves? What will you say to them as people who can see we are heading towards the elections on the 4th of November, local government elections? the Minister of Finance, Mr. Enoch Godongwane, has withheld grants to a lot of municipalities. I said I heard it's over 19 or 9 billion that he
Yeah,
has decided not to give, because he said then we need to see whether they responsible. We have given them the targets, and they've been getting unqualified audits, and he says they
yeah.
need to put their house in order. But we are still going to elect the same people who will be given big budgets, and they will continue to fail. What do we say as a church, as now we are having a leadership conference coming?
Yeah.
What do you say to the rest of the people that are watching us?
Sure. I'll say leaders are not made in a day, they are made
Yes.
daily.
Okay.
But yeah, but this conference is a catalyst to begin to
Yes.
say, what do I do as a leader? But
Mm.
also, I think it would be unfair as a leader you come to this conference without your protege or your mentees,
Yes.
because yeah, it will be important to bring them along so that they drink with you in this Lord. But also it will be important to somebody says it's John Maxwell says to make leadership to be in action. Says what get talked about gets done.
What is
So
talked
when you
about
begin to
is
talk
done.
about it, yeah,
Mhm.
communicating about it gets done. Number two, it says what gets calendared gets done. You say
Wow.
anything that is not in your calendar, it cannot be done. You know, if
Mm-hmm.
it's not in your diary, it cannot be done. So thirdly, what gets trained for gets done. You know, if you can't say we want leaders, but you don't train those leaders. And the
Yes.
fourth one, yeah, what gets evaluated gets done.
Gets done.
And the last
Wow.
one, what gets rewarded gets done. So I'm just saying, as we come into this conference, those are the things that I want to talk to leaders about them. That you can dream all you want if it's not in the calendar. But remember, there was another year where you were talking about the issue of numbers. If
Yeah.
it's not in the number, it's not going to happen. You know, if
Yeah.
it's not like today, we have this because there was a number in place. It's cut to 8, and there was a day 17 because there is a number. So
Mm.
we need to say to leaders, numbers are important. That's why there is a book of numbers. I remember you're teaching about that. So I'm
Mm.
just saying to leaders, you must say how many leaders that I want to groom in this year, and also
Yes.
encouraging. So I'm just saying, let's encourage young leaders to be part of this conference, and let's invest in those leaders for this conference, because this will change their life. You know, I was looking at the quality of the speakers that you've called, and because I've been in the leadership space, I know in place, like for instance, around 2006, just to be in John Maxwell's presence, it was 5,000 rand per day. You know,
Yes.
so and the corporates and the people of the world were prepared to pay that money because they realize leadership is important. So I'm just saying to leaders, to pastors that are watching this, not only pastors but to community leaders, bring your proteges into that so that they can learn. Something will open their minds.
Amen. Well,
Yeah,
you said it mouthful, that what it's spoken about or
yeah,
discussed gets done.
yeah,
What
yeah,
is planned or calendared gets done.
yeah.
What is the next one?
What is trained for?
What is
What is
trained for
Yeah,
gets
because to
done.
give people skills, yeah, gets done. What's evaluated gets done. What gets rewarded gets done.
Wow. We're looking forward to see all these great principles. We want to encourage all the leaders to bring in their team, their proteges. We're having PowerPoint presentations. We'll have notes given for all the training that will be taking place. It's going to be an incredible conference.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking forward to get people to stand as independent candidates for the local government elections. The Madanga is showing us a lot of road, and we are praying that God is going to help us prepare and train leaders to go replace all these corrupt elements in our government, people who cannot be bought or captured. I
Yeah.
think that plays a major role. South
Yeah.
Africa needs credible, great, amazing leaders. And
Yeah.
here's the platform that will be a catalyst that will create a hunger and a desire for our people to get into leadership.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
I'm I
Yeah.
don't know whether people have questions. If people have questions, they can write and just ask questions before we let you go, Pastor Joshua.
Yeah.
Maybe before while people are maybe preparing their questions, um, what do you think about the black church in South Africa in relation to leadership? We see a lot of shortcomings when it comes to leadership in the church, especially in the black church. We see a different picture in the white-led churches compared to black-led churches. What caused that discrepancy?
Sure. Yeah. It's a my involvement with John Maxwell traveling throughout Southern Africa, and what I will tell you now, it's we've treated church like royalty, because
Yeah.
you know, yeah, because there are two things that are important. There's
Mm-hmm.
what we the church. It's a living thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also the church need structure to be able to live. Like for instance, your if your skeleton,
Mm.
it's your structure
Mm.
that holds the flesh, you know. But the
Yes.
flesh, that's where you find all these organs. So
Mm.
what I realized with especially the black church, social structure management, you know,
Mm.
we've got it right. We've got it right. We've got numbers. But what becomes a problem is the structure. And and
Yes.
and and Dr. Rick Warren says you get what you structure for. But
Wow.
if you don't have a structure, the whole flesh will wobble, the whole organs will wobble because there is nothing that holds the structure. I think one of the things that we it's a missing link. We there are principles that we can learn in business and we can
Mm-hmm.
employ them in church. But the problem is that we kind of block people from the corporate who will bring these principles within the church. Let me show you something. Jesus, he wants to feed people. And he says to his
Yes.
disciples, what can we do? They says, no, there's nothing we can do. Let them go. And says, what do you have? And he says, "No, okay, we have 5 loaves and 2 fishes. You know,
Mm.
this is it's resources, but they're not enough for all these people." Then he says to them, uh, place people in order. For me, that's structure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then he
True.
prays about it.
Mm.
When a miracle happens where there is no structure, I think only 500 men will have eaten.
Yeah.
But because there was structure, we
Yes.
are told how many men that ate, and we're told how many women and children, but we also are told that there were how many leftovers. So structure will tell you
Yes.
how many people are fed, how much was, like when you look at Jesus in John chapter 17, he gives the report to his father, says, no, the 12 that you have given me, I've kept
Mm.
them all apart from one. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to go to God and says, hey, since we started in 2000, I've kept them apart from this. I don't know how much is I've lost them. And sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much impact are they making in other churches or in the corporate, because that structure, it's only for the church. We don't look even beyond, you know. So
Amen.
I think management is the problem.
Wow, I am excited to hear more about the issue of structure. I think this is a critical thing that we've got to structure our things as a black-led church and say we have the resources, we have the grace, we we have an opportunity. You know, our
Mm-hmm.
people are hungry. They come to
Mm.
church, they sit for 4 hours in long services, but what are we giving them? are
Yeah.
we are we equipping them? Are we mandating them? Are we making them feel ukuthi they are only sitting for a while, but after some time they have to be sent out? Because you see, one of the biggest challenge I see is that we don't make people feel like they are just here for training, and after that they are going to graduate and they have to be sent out and do what
Mm-hmm.
they are trained to do. So yeah, but we're gonna be talking about all these things. It's gonna be a life-changing experience during the conference. Come, invite your friends, bring your
Yeah.
friends, even those who are not Christians who
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to enhance their leadership
Mm.
abilities, bring them to the conference.
Sure. Sure.
Your parting shots, Mfundisi.
Yeah. My parting shot is, have a ministry in the church and a mission in the world. You need to know what's my ministry in the church, what's my mission in the world.
Wow,
Every
wow,
Christian,
what a statement. What a statement.
every
Know
Christian has
your
a
ministry in
ministry
the church and
in the
your
church and
mission in the world.
in the world. Yeah, everyone needs to have it. Whether it's a ministry, mission to Obokoko, to youth, to business, because we need apostles that will be apostle for business people. We need to
Mm,
have apostle for political people, because
yes.
I might not get into parliament. Maybe one of us is there in parliament, becomes our Daniel. He has a mission there. And but what I'm saying, everyone, make
All right.
sure
Before you go, can you just expand a little bit? I know you'll be expanding on this maybe during the conference, but how do you find your mission? It's easy. We teach about gift discovery in the
yeah,
church. We have questionnaires that helps to
yeah,
identify the gifts that we have. But then, how do you find a mission? It's we Our emphasis is finding ministry. We have
yeah,
ministries that are listed, but then how do
yeah,
you find mission?
yeah. You see, there's this word, we play with it a lot, apostle,
Mm,
uh, which means the sent one, you
yeah.
know. And I believe that everyone in the church has been sent. So you need to find your mission. Aboba animo bope Mrs. Nave ba timula, you know. So there are people always you worry about them. Hey, maybe when you pass them, says, man, hey, these people, man, hey, they worry me, you know.
Mm,
That's your mission. That's what been called, you know. And there are
amen.
situations like, hey, you know what, hey, man, people, I think children, they need to learn easy issue of mathematics. That's a
Mm,
mission. God has called you to impact people with it. He gives you that bait so that there is this salon that you'll impact. So if there's something that you see every time it breaks your heart
mm.
outside of the church, that's your mission. And don't transfer that mission to your pastor and says, Pastor, you know what? I'm thinking we need to go do something about that. And no, we have our own mission. That's if you think about it, what about it? You are it. Go for
You are
it.
it.
You are it. It's yours. It's your. Don't involve me. I will guide you, Allah, but it's not mine. It's yours. You are it. And when you take a step of faith, you realize God will grow. It could grow to a great organization, an international organization. You are it.
Hey, hey. Wow, I love it. I really love it because we always want uh, to send others. We
Yeah.
have a burden, but we don't want to carry it. We're
Uh-huh.
looking for
Uh-huh.
someone to surrogate and carry the
Mm.
burden
Mm.
on our behalf. And I think that's where things go south because if I'm going to be carrying a burden and it doesn't fit me, it's going to be heavy. God will not allow any burden that it's beyond my ability to carry it. So
Yeah, yeah,
we encourage all of you guys that it's going to be a great conference. I don't know what to say more than just saying, come, come for yourself. One of the things about leadership conferences is that it's not only all about the content that
yeah,
will be dished out, but also just the ambient of
yeah,
being
yeah.
amongst other leaders,
Oh,
sharing experience during lunchtime,
mm,
making contacts, sharing ideas, sharing contacts. It's
mm,
amazing.
yeah,
Remember those years when we used to go to Rema celebration? We were looking
mm,
forward for fellowship even
yeah,
during the day.
yeah,
So we're looking forward to see you as a leader, to come
yeah,
meet
yeah,
other leaders from everywhere, from Limpopo, from the east, but the far east side of Mpumalanga, from Gauteng, from the northwest, from everywhere. Leaders will be coming just to come and fellowship and converge together.
yeah. An iron sharpens and an iron.
Iron sharpens an iron.
Yeah, so
Well, Mfundisi, we just want to really, really thank you for the opportunity that you have given us to tap into your vast knowledge of
sure.
leadership. I mean, you are amongst the few who has worked with, walked through the Bible.
Yeah,
Bruce Wilkinson, you've worked with Saddleback, Rick
yeah.
Warren. You've worked with
Chip
John Maxwell.
Yeah,
And not only that, you are now working with Simpiwe Masiza and the other great guys
yeah.
in South Africa. We appreciate you being just a simple Tatana Joshua Makukule. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so much.
much.
Thank you for an opportunity. I really appreciate this, my friend. I'm looking forward. We're praying for this conference, and I'm also inviting my friends around Mpumalanga, that area, to say, don't miss this.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you very much. Good night.
Good day.
Have a wonderful weekend and a great service on Sunday. We'll see you on Friday. For you guys that have joined us tonight, there's a link on the bio. Just click the link, it opens. You can register for the conference and do payment. And so that when you come in on Friday, we are just going to scan your name. You don't have to go sit there and register, but then you'll be pre-registered when you come on Friday. Even those, we still have space for those who want to exhibit. We've got few engineering companies and some few business people who are going to be exhibiting their services and their products. Because business is either you are selling a product or you are offering a service. So we have those who will be displaying the services they are offering, and those will be showcasing the products they are selling. So please make sure that you register online for the conference. It's gonna be an incredible conference. Make sure that you are on time on Friday, because we are going to unleash great things. Thank you, Pastor Joshua.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure. Thank you, my friend. Stay blessed and anointed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. We can see all of you guys. Babu Nginda, Tebogo Mashinini, Tiny Mambane, Basetsana Muhapi, Laki Khatebe. Thank you guys for joining us, and the rest of you guys that have joined us. And we want to say to you, good night.
Good night.
Amen. Amen. Thank you to all of you guys.